Hi guys, welcome back to a new vlog, a new month, a new week, a new year, a happy new year. I can't believe this is the first vlog of 2025. It's also been a while. I'm just trying to think of the last time I actually filmed. I feel a little bit rusty. But how are we all? Did you all have a good Christmas and New Year? I will just briefly address the elephant in the room. Vlogmas ended very abruptly because I think it was the last one I filmed where I was kind of shuffling a bit and I was like, oh, I've got leg pain, it's the weather. No, turned out a couple of days later it was shingles. Just before Christmas, your girl had shingles. I had to go to hospital one of the days as well because I was so severely dehydrated with it and I had pains and all of the things. It was quite horrific. It hit me like a bus. It's horrible. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy, to be quite honest. So that's where I've been, and then obviously it was Christmas and New Year, and last week I genuinely just forgot to pick up the camera because I've been out of it for almost a month now. But we're back on track. I have loads of things to share with you. I've got some exciting news, a new product that I'm designing. Again, if you follow me on other platforms, you've probably seen snippets. I'm kind of sharing really small sneak peeks, but I need to do like a proper content plan for that as well. But I do have so much to fill you in on. But first, most importantly, I really need to do a restock of my sparkly letters. They are by far my best seller, and yeah, I'm running out of quite a few letters now, so I need to get them out, particularly the blue ones because I've had an order, figure out what letters I need and get making. You're gonna come along for the week with me? Let's do this, guys. Amount of letters missing or low, but there are quite a few common, like more popular initials that I do need to stock up on. So let's see how many I can get done. Okay, I just got slightly distracted on TikTok. For those of you that have finished the ACOTAR series, which I now have, the third book, I always forget the name of it. Is it Wings and Ruin? I always forget. Anyway, it's the third one. That book is my absolute favourite. I know a lot of people, it's the second book, the Mist and Fury. Yeah. I'm terrible with the names of them. I know the second book is a fan favourite for a lot. The third book, in fact, I've seen a lot of people say the fifth book is their favourite as well. That's really irritating me. The third book did things to me. It broke me as a human. And I've just watched someone react and it's actually made me cry all over again because of the part that she was at. She was kind of like speed reading and her daughter was like, you okay? You okay? And she had the same reactions as me. I don't think a book... I'm trying to think of all the books I've ever read. And I don't think, apart from... which is a very different book, apart from Me Before You and My Sister's Keeper, but obviously this is very different to those two books. I don't think a book has ever made me sob like that book did. I really, really hope it makes it to television. I really do. I am currently working my way through Pride and Prejudice, again for, it's Jane Austen's 250th, I think it is, like an anniversary year this year. So there's a celebration, like a read with me kind of thing. In January is Pride and Prejudice. So I'm kind of working my way through that, but also I'm reading the Atlas 6 that was highly recommended. Just something to really get my teeth into. The last book I read of 2024 was The Housemaid. I don't get the hype. It was good, and that was it. But I do think a large part of that, and let me know what you think about this, I'm sure I can't be alone. When books put things on the front, or when publishers, it's largely publishers I reckon for the most part, if you liked insert whatever, like book, film, whatever, if you liked, you will love this. There are certain books that you cannot do that with, because the books that they put on the front, or the if you liked blah, it could have been in the description, it's somewhere. I knew what was going to happen because I'd seen the film of the if you liked. I knew what was coming. There were a couple of twists that are like, oh, but yeah. So I guess this is like a different take on people that have adored it, and it's been like 5-star instant. It just didn't hit for me. Like I say, it's good. It's good. I wouldn't say it was like a bad book, it's good. But it didn't grip me. I think that was the thing. So yeah, I'm onto the Atlas 6 now, which is a slow read, I'm finding. There's a lot to take in. I'm not kind of like whizzing through it like I would with other things like Akatar. But it's really good. Now, like a few years down the line, a few years ago I would have said I thought I had my glasses on there, my main love was like romance, kind of contemporary romance books. I love Lindsay Kelk. Sophie Kinsella was one of my favourites. I haven't read anything by her for a while, but I still love her. She's still a great author if you're looking for that kind of thing. The Shopaholic series will forever be one of my favourite series. Lindsay Kelk, like I say, adore Lindsay Kelk. I've got to read her latest one. She's brought out one called The Bell Witches, I think it's called. I still need to read that. But my favourite genres now are like classic literature, so like Dracula, Jane Austen, all of them, Wuthering Heights, you know, that kind of thing, and fantasy and secret society vibe. So like Ninth House, loved. The Atlas 6 was recommended, I'm really enjoying it. And I can't remember, what was the other one that was recommended? Because if you guys are like me and you like that kind of thing, see if I download samples because I forget otherwise. I think it was A Deadly Education. They came recommended. So yeah, classic lit, fantasy, and like anything with a dark academia, secret society kind of vibe, love. Ninth House, I still think about daily, I would say. I loved that. That was an audiobook, and I have the second one. Yeah, I don't think I have any more bookishy things to say. I still need to read Wisteria. It's not out in paperback yet. We'll probably get it on Kindle. But the Atlas 6, I'm working my way through that right now. Anyway, so easily distracted. Let's get this done because it is nearly 12 and I need to make some lunch. And then at 1 o'clock it's the Coco Natasha co-working call. If you remember of Tasha's Patreon, then they're every Tuesday, and I have missed them for months now. I think the last one I went on was maybe September, and I've missed them so much. So I want to grab a sandwich and get these cut, grab a sandwich and make sure I'm like settled up here. My battery's fine on my laptop, so yeah. And I've been yammering for nearly 7 minutes. By the grace of I don't know what, 3 stickers survived that cut. And I don't know why, because I disappeared downstairs to have some lunch. But thankfully, the one that survived was for the order. Ugh. What a waste. I don't think I can get away with a lot of these per seconds either. Right. That was such a productive co-working session. I always love them. And I honestly think it was September the last time I went on. I made some good progress. Shall I show you it like that? I'll pop the background on. It's like a white background, so things kind of get lost. But I'm not letting it get any clearer because that's like the biggest sneak peek anybody has seen. It's really getting there. it's really, really, it's coming together. And I think when you do things like this, so when it's a really, let me just get the canvas information up, statistics. Okay, so I am 15.5 hours in so far, and it's so daunting sometimes when you start a piece. Like a lot of my pieces that I've done, all of my illustrations, so New York, India was quite the piece to do. Paris, you get to a point where overwhelm kind of hits, and it's like, can I actually do this? Have I bitten off more than I can chew? Because the sketch always looks really good, and you're like, I can see the vision coming together. Then you move on to the line art, and you question your life choices because you can't actually decipher your sketch. And then you get into the colour blocking stage, and it kind of flattens everything out because it's just block colour. There's no like shading in it that brings it to life. And it can be really hard sometimes looking at things just in blocks and seeing the vision. But I think it's starting to come together now. We're slowly but surely getting there. When the backgrounds are in, so like the wallpaper and the flooring, oh yeah, it's gonna be, I've got faith that this is gonna be really good. I just hope you guys love it too. I really, really do. I tell you what, let me get my hair up because I'm getting really warm. I'll close this laptop lid and then we'll have a proper chat about this, because oh guys, it's a conundrum. It's a conundrum, and at this moment in time, see if my story has expired. Oh no, it hasn't. Okay, well, it's 60-40, but I've had people drop into my DMs that haven't voted. So let me pop you over there, let's get comfy and have a little chinwag. Why do I look so pale? I've put the light on in the hope that it warms my complexion up, and I actually think it has. I think it has. So this piece that I've just given you the brightest peek of is for the jigsaw puzzle. Now this is why I love YouTube so much, because I can really sit and chat with you guys and go into like more detail than I feel like I can on, say, Instagram. This jigsaw has been something that I've wanted to do. I think I first reached out to this manufacturer in, I'm going to say August 2023. I mentioned it on Instagram. I really wanted to do it. In fact, so in 2023 I reached out to this manufacturer, got prices. I had to really restrain myself because I was like, yes, let's do this. But the minimum order quantity is something, it's not the biggest number, it's not huge, but it's huge for me to store and not sell. Like the outlays would be the biggest outlay I've ever done, and I've paid for, like, I've got enamel pins, tea towels, like all of that has been self-funded, and they weren't small figures. But this is double the amount I've ever paid out. So back in 2023 I stopped myself from going, yes, let's do this, and pulling the trigger, so to speak, on a jigsaw. I didn't have the audience. I knew deep down that as much as I wanted to do it, it would have been an impulsive decision and not one that I should have done. But it didn't stop me from getting a jigsaw. So it will have been around September. I posted on Instagram. I don't think I ever posted anywhere else, but I actually got, can you see it? I actually got Paris made into a jigsaw to see what it would look like. It looks really good. But the company I got this from, totally separate entity. When I was going through sort of the process, thinking earlier this year, no, at the back end of last year, it's 2025, Nicola, thinking about doing it myself with packaging that I'd create myself and figure out, getting the jigsaw itself from this company, you know, and kind of doing, not DIY, but bringing it together, like the glass canisters that I'd seen. And then I did all the math, and that was absolutely not going to work. I'm not a huge fan, this is not from this company, but you can get them either coming in like a satin bag or a small tin, and they look fine, but that's not my, I want the box, I want the shoulder box with the branding on top and the picture like a traditional jigsaw. So after, it was months, I spent like 3 months trying to figure this out at the back end of last year, and I was like, right, okay, back to the drawing board. This jigsaw is gonna happen, like it's the biggest goal for this year to happen. I reached out again to the manufacturer that I spoke to in 2023 and was like, hi, can you give me an update on like your prices, because obviously it's been like a year since we spoke. I was like, right, I'm gonna do a Kickstarter. I'm gonna do my first Kickstarter, and it's gonna be really exciting. And yeah, because the thing I love about Kickstarters is I've backed 2, I think, because I wasn't really au fait with Kickstarter, but I feel like I've got really into it recently, and yeah, so I am getting into the community spirit of Kickstarter, and you kind of get taken away with it, and it's so much fun. And I thought, right, okay, I'll do that. Then I got into the nitty gritty of it. I watched Emily Harvey's video, Lula Rocks, Rebel Jones, they've all done like Kickstarter videos. And then I did the figures, because I thought, after researching jigsaws on Kickstarter, figuring things out myself, the figure is quite high that I would need to reach. You've got to kind of include postage. You can like do an add-on third party, well, third party, it's like an add-on for the postage and do the postage after, but when I sort of tried to do the workings out, it's a lot cheaper postage within the UK versus America, for example. It's like 3 times the amount to post to America because it's classed as a small parcel and it would weigh up to 1 kilogram with Royal Mail, versus the UK where it costs like £5. But that figure comes off of the total. So to take into account the potential of £17 coming off my like figure, and that being postage, so it's not really the full jigsaw price, it felt like a lot. So then I thought, what about pre-order? Because the Kickstarter I'd want to run for 4 weeks, I think. Maybe that's just me being like a crisis of faith. 4 weeks for the first Kickstarter maybe feels like the sensible thing to do, which would mean in total it would take it to like 10 weeks, because you'd have 4 weeks for the campaign, 2 weeks for Kickstarter to clear the funds, 4 weeks manufacturing time, and then obviously shipping out. With a pre-order I could do it for about 2 weeks. I know the figure, I know the people I would need to back. It's quite low in the grand scheme. And then, so 2 weeks, 4 weeks, and that'll be roughly around a 6 week. Now, I know I don't have to do the Kickstarter for 4 weeks. I could do that for 2 weeks. I could make the Kickstarter just UK only and then offer like a perk, so the reduced price of the jigsaw to anyone that's international afterwards, so that they wouldn't miss out. I don't know. So these are all things that are going around my head at the moment on which way to do it. Honestly, I know a lot of people do Kickstarters because like the outlay is so huge, and that is a part of it for me. It's definitely also the space, like storage for jigsaws for me. I can store 10, 15, but that would mean I'd need to sell like 15 up front to be able to make it easier for me to store, if that makes sense. It's just really trying to figure out what to do for the best. Yeah, I really want to kind of launch this at the end of February, the latest. And it feels like that's roughly around people's paydays as well, you know, the end of the month. I did a poll on Instagram and it's like 60-40 for pre-order. But people have, like I said, dropped into my DMs. This is going to take some editing down. See, the thing with Kickstarter is the figure I would need to get to, if it's a lot larger because of like Kickstarter fees, understandably, and then I have to take into account postage within that figure, which I think is really difficult. It would be around £550 just to unlock the jigsaw, whereas it wouldn't need to be that as a pre-order. Pre-order feels like I think of a lot of my friends and family outside of the small business community, and they pre-order things. They'd probably automatically just be like, yep, cool for pre-order, but then it... Oh, I'm rambling so much. So I can tell you kind of like what it's about, because you won't have seen the actual little element peaks I've done. So I will show you what's going on here. I will show you properly this, and that's all you're getting to see. The line art and everything gets coloured in as we go along. You might have noticed just around some things I've coloured it in, but yeah, I'm really excited about this. Just need to make it work. I've talked myself dry now, so I'm gonna have a drink, consult my list, and see what else we need to do today. I might just spend another hour on this and get like, if I can get all of the colour blocking done today, that would be pretty cool, because then I can order a sample of the jigsaw maybe like next week. That's a bit ambitious. Guys, I'm 50, I can't believe I'm 15 hours into this. Oh god, I'm gonna go and have some coffee. I'm documenting this because it's sunny. I can't see anything, so I'm gonna close the blinds, but we have sunshine and blue skies. Readjusting? Sunshine and blue skies. Sunshine and blue skies. And I can see pavement for the first time in about 10 days. The snow is going. It's not all gone, but I feel like I could walk to the post office now and not feel like I'm taking my life into my own hands, which I'm very excited. I'm very excited. It's not still really bad on the lights. Can you see me? Right, today guys, I'm up here a little bit later. It's 11:15. I've been doing hand cream. I have been doing like admin bits downstairs, and I spent like an hour on the illustration for the jigsaw. So I emailed the manufacturer this morning just to kind of like give them an update, explain what's happening. Still haven't made my mind up about Kickstarter versus pre-order. So I'm looking at stickers as well, because with this I want to do like a freebie sticker with every purchase. I haven't quite decided on that one yet, but I know that I'd want it foiled, like a gold foil, and to be really pretty. So watch this space. There's an accountability call today with Emily Harvey, and I can't wait to go on that and like set everything out. So I think we're getting somewhere. I've spoken to the manufacturer this morning. Sorry, I went off on a tangent. And I can order a sample from them, which is amazing. I didn't know that I could, which sounds really naive and stupid, but yeah, it's gonna cost. It's gonna cost quite a lot of money, but I will have the box and everything so that I can actually do fun reels, and I can show you it, I can unpack it, I can make it. It's gonna be so much fun. So that's gonna be really good. So the goal is to have the illustration finished by the end of January. There's a 2-week turnaround on their sample, so I could hopefully have that by mid-Feb. I think we might have a plan. I just need to get the illustration finished, and it's really coming together. It's really coming together. I did another couple of hours last night, I did an hour this morning. So, but today I'm just yammering on. Today I need to have a look at markets, because I really want to apply to some. I want to apply to some big markets this year. I really want to apply to Stationery Fest when the applications come out, and hope that I get it. My local one at Victoria Hall, and really need to do that application because the deadline's probably approaching pretty fast. I need to recut some cherry stickers. That's not high on the agenda. Content, I really need to figure out some content. This jigsaw is like all consuming the illustration, and my socials are suffering for it, so that's not good. And create an email to go out at some point this week as well. I do have a long list. I need to sort my Etsy out so that I can reactivate Canada and Australia again. I deactivated Canada with the postal strike over Christmas. You couldn't get any labels, like Royal Mail just weren't shipping. I need to order a cricket mat I also, one thing that I want to work on are Kindle inserts as well. I can't believe I'm giving myself more illustration work to do. I want some really pretty Kindle inserts. I'd quite like to do some that are Jane Austen themed, but I also want to do sort of swirls and fun things, and I can't think of the word. I'll come back to that one. But let's get going. Let's sort Etsy out, because I actually have Etsy open now after doing an order this morning, and get Canada and Australia back up and running. I should also check for other countries as well. I did have Japan. I just cancelled a lot of international ones before Christmas because there's no way to really like filter things, and it was just getting messy. So yeah, let's get on with the day. Okay, so Victoria haul done, ticked off, applied. I've had a look at a few others and I don't think they're open yet, sort of for the application, so they must not have the dates locked in and things like that. So we're just popping that to one side for now. One of the goals, which I'll talk about later on, is to be in more stores, physical stores. Well, to be in any stores. I'm not in it. I was thinking wholesale. I'd like to do more wholesale this year. So obviously I kind of like dipped my toe in the water last year with the Bookish advent calendar and the Bookish subscription box. I did items for both of those at the back end of last year. If you've seen those vlogs, they were just amazing experiences. The pouches that I made for the Bookish box was a wild ride. But it kind of cemented for me that I really want to do it. I've been waitlisted for the last God knows how long by Fair. It feels like it's so hard to get into now. There's other creators, other illustrators that can't get in, who to me are like goals. So I don't feel particularly offended now. So I'm popping that sort of Fair to one side. I would like to be on Fair for international purposes, but I thought if I could maybe just get into some stores, even if it's renting a shelf, then that's like a really good place to start, to actually see my things in a store. This year is the year to really step out of my comfort zone and to really push myself further than I've ever pushed myself. I do want to do bigger markets. I do want to invest in the business, in constantly levelling up my packaging and my branding. Ooh! Let me show you this. So I'm testing a new thank you card before I actually spend 12 million hours creating one myself. So this is a licensed graphic. It's not my work. But I've been taking classes on Skillshare. I mean, I've been on Skillshare now for about 4 or 5 years. It's the best platform I think I've ever paid to be on. I've got a class bookmarked and I started it. I haven't got my iPad up here to show you. I started it probably about 18 months ago. It is really, really hard. But the instructor, the teacher, what's wrong with me? The instructor, teacher, oh my god. The teacher on there, she teaches toile de juillet. So am I pronouncing that right? Toile de juillet. Toile de juillet. I love fabric like that. I have a skirt, a really long pretty skirt with that fabric on from H&M. It was a H&M Lydia Millen collection from, well, I last wore it in 2019, so maybe like an 18-19 collection they did. But I really want to do my own. But I thought if I test these out, see what the reaction is, and see whether it's worth me spending 12 million hours creating it. But how pretty is this? So this is my latest thank you card going out. And I just think it's really pretty. And I really, really want things like that to level up my packaging and how I'm sending things out. I want the unboxing experience to just feel really special. I want it to feel really special. All the words going around in my head. So I want it to just feel, I want the brand to kind of encompass this cosy, whimsical, almost calming kind of effect. Like I do want it to be quite like colourful in a sense, but not. There are some brands that do colourful amazingly well because they adore colour and they have like colourful rooms, and I'm not that person. I mean, I love splashes of colour, like my Disney print and my flowers that you can't see, but I love calming colours like the pastels, and I want the brand to feel like that. And it comes in time, you know, so we're coming up to the 2-year mark now, and it's all growth, but I'm really excited to see where this year takes me and takes the brand. Good morning, guys. This week has flown away from me. It's actually it's gone so fast. You know when you feel like there's so much to do, so little time. That's been this week. I think it's just because the jigsaw's kind of all consuming. But I went on both Zoom calls this week. I had the accountability call with Emily Harvey, which I think is where I last spoke to you guys. But I'm going to round this video off here because I've got some fun things to do in the next video. So I thought, as promised, I would talk about the 2024 roundup and goals for 2025. I don't have many goals for 2025, I'll be honest, but the ones I have are quite big for me. So let's talk about Miguel. Well, what was I doing? Like that was my goal list for 2024. Don't do that. Like, don't do that. That's bonkers. So I wanted to get into wholesale last year. Now I did and I didn't do that. I didn't because I think when I wrote that in my head I was like, wholesale, I want to be in a shop. But towards the end of the year I did have 2 wholesale orders. I was in a bookish advent calendar and I was in a bookish book subscription box. So I'm going to say I did get into wholesale. It wasn't what I thought, you know, at the beginning of the year, but life has a funny way of doing that. I wanted to release 2 to 3 collections and I did do that. I had the Mad Hatter Wonderland collection in the spring, and I had the Bake It Out collection in the summer, and then a really mini shop update, I'd say, the Cozy Book collection that I did, that it's going to be constantly expanded on. So I did do that. I wanted to have 1 market per month. That's just not me, guys. I didn't do as many markets as I wanted in general. In fact, I did a March and an April market and then 1 Christmas market, I think. Is that how it felt? Yeah, I think that was it, which was really poor. And I want to do more markets this year. I wanted to release 5 gift wraps. I think I'm going to tap out from gift wraps, if I'm completely honest, because they're not great sellers. I do have some Christmas wrapping paper left, not a huge amount, but I do have some left from 2023, and I have my biscuit wrapping paper. So if that's your vibe and you love retro biscuits, like the OG, if you're born in the 80s, raised in the 90s, these kind of biscuits were staples. I'm talking pink wafers, custard creams, bourbons, Jimmy Dodgers, the good ones with the sugar on top, not the originals, but so I'm talking biscuits like that, like the iconic biscuits, party rings. I love party rings. So yeah, 5 gift wraps. I think I realised going into maybe summertime the gift wraps probably weren't where I was going to focus my energy. Same with greeting cards. I really wanted to expand my greeting cards last year, and I do still want to expand greeting cards, but not quite to the scale I did. Improved product photography. Oh, I'm gonna say I didn't do that. I'm proud of some of the photos that I took, but it's still not where I want it to be, you know. Grown online presence on TikTok, I did that. I am now at 1108, I think. It goes up and down, I'm over 1,000 anyway. I'm over 1,100 followers on TikTok, which I'm so proud of. I went live, I pushed myself so far out of my comfort zone, I like rocketed into another dimension, you know? So I did that. I opened Etsy to Europe and then had to promptly shut it to Europe. I was open to Germany. I got a license for Germany. It's the whole recycling licenses that you, well, needed back then, pre 13th of December 2024, I'm talking here. Release heat press products with this bad boy. I love this press so much. I love it. I did release products. I released tote bags. I am releasing coasters. I got into sublimation. I have done pouches. So yeah, take that off my list. Try and be brave and set up a YouTube channel. And I wanted to do commission work because I started largely doing like travel prints, like inspired by the places I love, the places on my bucket list. I still do that. I have a Nantucket print and that is so high up on my bucket list. I'm desperate to go there. One day we'll get there. Probably twin it with Boston and do something like that. But yeah, that's so high up on the bucket list. So there was a lot of things like that, and I thought if I open commission work maybe up on Etsy, and then I just decided against it, if I'm completely honest. So a lot of these I just grew and adapted and kind of pivoted throughout the year, which I want to say is absolutely fine to anyone else out there who's looking at the goals and you've kind of switched things up but you still feel like, oh, I didn't meet the goals. It doesn't matter, you switch things up. So I'm going to say I've got a 50% tick for this. But let's get on to 2025 goals. You'll notice that the list is not as long, I don't think you can see that, but it's also not quite as aggressive in what I'm aiming for. Okay, 2025. Release, top of this list is release a jigsaw. Again, if you've been here for even a few months maybe, you will know that I'm going to say it was like August 2023 I first spoke about jigsaw puzzles. And then probably the end of 23 into 24, I kind of shared my dream items, which, just going back to 2024, I probably should have spoken about achievements, but the wholesale orders were huge achievements for me, but also my 3 dream products have always been an enamel pin, which I released in April? It was the spring anyway. I released tea towels, which was second on my list of like, there was something about seeing my artwork on a tea towel that I thought it seemed so special and fun. And the final, like the big goal was jigsaw puzzle. And that is a huge top of the list goal for 2025. And I'm working on that already. And I'm hoping that that will be out in the spring. Release 2 collections. Now, depending on how the path I choose for this jigsaw will depend on just how it's released. But I have so many ideas for this to become, I want to say mini collection, but I don't think it'll be a mini collection, to become a collection. I have ideas and I'd really like that to become a collection, but we'll see with that one. We will see. And I have another collection already brewing in my mind for later in the year, so I'm talking like a wintry one. So who knows what will happen in between, but I definitely want to release 2 collections. A very big goal that you can't really control is monetize YouTube. So for that I would need to grow to 1,000 subscribers and have my watch hours at, I think it's 4,000. It's not an easy thing to do, you can't control numbers, but I feel like it's a nice goal to have. And to reach that I would need to carry on with like being consistent, improve my content, make sure I keep adding value for you guys, and it's just like a fun watch. So all these things are hopefully going to go towards being able to monetize my YouTube channel. Wholesale again is on the list, and by this I mean there's a couple of ways I potentially want to go about this. I would love to do something similar to last year, to be a part of somebody else's subscription box or calendars, things like that. I'm also looking into applying to rent a shelf. That's not wholesale, but it's being in a physical store. And I'm also thinking that at some point this year I would like to have maybe a wholesale catalogue an application form set up on my website for people to come directly, because your girl ain't getting onto fairies shit. Yeah. So that's like a 3-part goal. They're the steps I want to take to get to that goal. Improve my product photography. I have Skillshare. I adore Skillshare. It's one of my favourite things. I need to utilise Skillshare for product photography because I'm certain there'll be classes there that I can take. And last, but by no means least, are markets. So I spoke about markets in my recap of 2024. This year, I want to do the markets I love. So Victoria Hall is one of my favourite markets to do. Whenever there's a market coming up, if I'm able, like if I'm around, if I'm not like doing something else or another market event, I want to go to that market forever and always. But this year I would love, love, love to attend Stationery Fest. We will see. I don't think applications are open yet. I've not had an email. I signed up to the newsletter. But to be able to go to Stationery Fest and not only like meet you guys, but also meet the people that I follow as well, and like I really love. And last year I had FOMO. Last year I was not ready to attend Stationery Fest, but watching the vlogs, it looked like so much fun, and that would massively push me out of my comfort zone. It would push the business out of its comfort zone, but I would love to do it. It's a big goal. We'll see. And other events like that, yeah, markets like that, events like that, I would love to attend. They are my goals for 2025. It's like I said, I don't have loads. I don't think it's necessarily the best to have loads because it's overwhelming. I mean, look at last year's. But these goals, I think they're achievable as much as I can control them. So watch this space. Hopefully this time next year, I can do what I've seen a lot of people do. Certainly Emily Harvey does this and I love it. I want to be able to watch back next year and talk about whether I achieved what I'm talking about now. Nicola, I hope you did it. I hope you did it. And I can't wait to see the jigsaw. I'm also going to share, I've not shared this with anybody. Just have a look at the time. I've been yammering a little bit, but it's fine. It's fine. I want to share with you the mood board that I created to give you an idea of where I really want Nicola Ellen to go this year. I hope this shows. This is the vibe. This is the vibe I really want for the business, and it's the goal. I should have really just popped it up on screen. I don't know if you can really see that. I think you will be able to. I say this every time and you can. So this is really, it's the direction I want to go in. It's my own love as well. I mean, books and magic, just like pure magic of love and romanticism and fiction and just softness, books, all of those things. I think that's why at the moment I'm leaning so heavily into classic literature, because I just love how it feels. And even the films and things. I've got an exciting trip, a research trip coming up this weekend. I'm going to try and film as much as I can. I'm making it sound like it's this huge thing, like I'm going somewhere major. For me, I can't wait to go. It's not that far from where I live really, about half an hour, 40 minutes. So I'm going to go. I'm going to take you with me as much as I can. I'll take as much footage as I can and then share it with you next week. But yeah, this is really, I'm wanting to really lean into books and things as well, and I want Nicola Ellen to be a space of joy and calm and coziness to a degree. Like, I realised I keep making things for cosy hobbies, like the things I love, like reading and baking and all of the things. The jigsaw puzzle to me is quite a cosy hobby. I just think of hunkering down. Even, I know typically people relate jigsaws to maybe like autumn and winter, but I always think even in spring or in the summer holidays if you have kids, and we live in England, the UK even, like as a whole, all of us, we're a little bit wet sometimes. We have rain. We have a lot of rain in summer. You can't guarantee hot summers, hot dry summers. And I just think these fun activities, cosy hobbies, I feel like, or just cosy vibes, I feel like are the things I automatically create for, accidentally. Like, it was only the other day I kind of thought about it, but yeah, So I want that to be a place, I want this to be a place where people can come and enjoy it. Joy and the nostalgia and the softness and the whimsy and all of those magical things. I'm just spewing out adjectives now, aren't I? But on that note, I am going to end the vlog here because I have, obviously next week's vlog you'll have my little research trip, and I have a new toy that I'm going to be playing with the cricket, which I'm nervous about. I hope it works, but I'll be taking you with me to experiment and try it out, and fingers crossed it pays off. And I also need to prepare for a really big end of month January sale, like a clearance sale. I'll have some seconds, but also I've just got things that I've got a lot of stock from collections that are discontinued or will be discontinued. So there'll be a lot of things that we need to organise together. Get out, have a look, see what we've got, and start prepping and work towards achieving our goals. I'm so excited. I'm so excited for this year. I really, really am. I will see you next week. It's going to be a busy one next week, and I'm really looking forward to it. I hope you are too. I hope you come back and join me. If you want to stick around, please hit the subscribe button. It really, really helps. And hit the like button. It pushes videos to other people that might enjoy it, and it really, really does help. I know a lot of creators say please hit the like button because it genuinely helps us. So I would really appreciate that if you've enjoyed it, and I will see you next week. Thank you so much for spending time with me. Mwah. I love you. You are all the best. Bye.